Well, welcome to Sierra Foothills Unitarian Universalists, and good morning, everybody. My name is AJ Van Tyne. I am the minister of this congregation. For our service today on our sacred word for the month, blessing, I am joined by our worship associate, Kara Rivera. She's also on our newly formed pastoral care committee. And we are also joined by Patty Leftridge, our music director, and our director of religious education, Adrian, will be doing Time for All Ages. And I am, of course, joined by all of you. You are all welcome here today. In all the beauty of languages, cultures, and skin tones that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here. In all the ways that you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. With all of the religious and ethical traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. Whether you come feeling whole, feeling broken, feeling anywhere in between, you are welcome here. Whether the word blessing is a part of your spiritual vocabulary or your religious experience or not, you are welcome here. No matter how long you've been away, nor how soon you may return, you are welcome here. You are invited to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and helping hands. We welcome you today. I now invite Kara Rivera to read our chalice lighting and lead us in lighting our home chalices.
We light our chalices this morning with these words from Reverend Andrea Hawkins Camper. Blessed are we who gather with open hearts together in this space today. Blessed are we, the chalice lighters of resistance, justice, love, and faith. Blessed are we, the heretics, the outcasts, the walkers of our own way. Blessed are we, the border crossers, the refugees, the immigrants, the poor, the wanderers who are not lost. Blessed are we, the transgressors, the trespassers, the passers-by, the cause takers, the defiant, the compliant. Blessed are we, the hand extenders, the sign makers, the protesters, the protectors. Blessed are we, the trans women, the trans men, the non-binary, the cisgender, the multigender, the no gender. Blessed are we, the friend, the stranger, the lonely, the hidden, the visible, the authentic. Blessed are we who rise in solidarity. Blessed are we who cannot. Blessed are we who do not. Blessed are we, for this is our beloved community, and this is who we are. Now, if you will please join us in our opening hymn, number 126, Come, Thou Fount of Every Blessing.
Never ceasing, go for songs of loudest morning, everyone. I'm going to share a video that I made earlier this week with the help of Arden Duncan and Sam Florence. We could start with a sneeze.
Achoo! Bless you.
What did you say?
Bless you.
Did you bless her?
Bless her? I don't know.
Arden, did you feel blessed?
I don't know.
Did you feel loved and cared for?
Yeah, sure, kind of.
Well, that's a nice start anyway. On the surface, a blessing is just to wish someone well.
Isn't it kind of like a spell or a prayer?
Kind of, depending on how you believe. Maybe you just believe in energy and spirit, so blessing someone is sharing your good energy with them.
But why do we bless someone when they sneeze? That's just weird.
Indeed. Once upon a time, a long time ago, people weren't quite sure what sneezes were. Some people thought they were evil spirits trying to take someone's soul or escape through the sneeze to bother someone else. Or maybe it was the plague, scary sicknesses that were going around in Europe during the Middle Ages. People didn't know about germs back then, but they did know that sick people sneezed. So whether it was a soul-sucking spirit or a sickness, Europeans started to say, "Bless you," when somebody sneezed.
Should we bless people from the coronavirus?
Sure, why not?
I just said bless you, but is that it? How do you bless someone?
Anyway, I guess. You can just say it. The words themselves are important. Or sometimes people do a laying on of hands. We can only do that with members of our immediate household right now, though. Maybe you can get out your magic wand, or you could light a candle for someone as you wish them well, or you could pray to God to heal someone, or you could ask the universe to guide them.
As long as we're sending hope for them to be well.
Exactly. And knowing that it's more powerful than just hope, but sharing our energy or asking the universe to help, or some kind of spiritual assistance. That's what makes a blessing really powerful. Get it?
Got it.
Good. Go forth and bless the world.
Affirmative.
Mm-hmm.
Bippity bippity pop.
Thank you all.
Throughout my 20s and 30s, I suffered from anxiety and depression. I numbed these feelings by drinking alcohol and acting out in other self-destructive ways. I was sober from my mid-20s to my mid-30s, at which point a relapse sent me reeling and landed me in a psychiatric facility. This was when I was first diagnosed as bipolar and began a journey of trying to find the right balance of psych meds, 12 steps, therapy, and self-care in order to make the slow climb back to reality. But it wasn't until my mid-40s, when I hit another bottom in sobriety, that I finally became willing to let go, stop trying to control my anxiety and depression, and let another woman guide me to a new way of life. Under my sponsor's direction, I added a combination of daily prayer and meditation, utilizing the tools of my 12-step program, and eventually leading other women down the same path, which finally relieved me of my anxiety and depression. One of these tools is doing daily gratitude lists. At the end of each day, and sometimes twice a day if I'm feeling particularly ungrateful, I make a list of 5 specific things I am grateful for. For example, instead of saying I'm grateful for my job, I'll say I'm grateful for the painting my student Jessica painted for me. Instead of saying I'm grateful for my husband, I'll say I'm grateful for how Javier takes care of our yard and our garden. It's this specificity that helps to change the lens through which I see the world, Rather than seeing all the problems I have, I start to look for and see the blessings in my life. I actually struggle with using the word blessing. Whenever I talk about the concept of feeling blessed, I always hesitate before speaking. Depending on what I think the person's attitude toward religion and the concept of God might be, I either choose the word blessed or the word lucky. But what's the difference? Or are the two synonymous? When I think about how I will have 12 years of continuous sobriety this August, and when I compare myself to the countless others who are chronic relapsers or who never get sober, I realize that I'm in the minority. But why me? Was I chosen by God? Is there some higher purpose I am here on this earth to fulfill that requires me to be sober? Why me and not someone else? I guess to me, the difference between being blessed and being lucky is the difference between the existence versus the non-existence of God. If I'm blessed, it means that my sobriety is something that's a gift from God. If I'm lucky, it means that it is completely random who gets sober and who doesn't, like playing the lottery. What I finally came up with is that whether I'm blessed or lucky, it's the action that I take that makes me ready to receive the gifts bestowed upon me by God, the universe, or randomness. In other words, I had to take the actions suggested by my sponsor in order to stay sober. The premise of the 12 steps is that we have to undergo some kind of psychic change in order to recover from alcoholism. The 12th step states, having had a spiritual awakening, as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to other alcoholics and to practice these principles, the principles of the 12 steps, in all our affairs. For me, a spiritual awakening means that I listen to that small, still voice inside me, and I choose to call that voice God. It's this voice that wants me to stay sober. It's this voice that wants me to get out of bed even when I feel like I can't. It's this voice that wants me to be happy, joyous, and free, according to the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. A famous passage in the Big Book states, quote, "Nothing, absolutely nothing happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy." End quote. Blessed be.
Thank you, Kara, for that lovely reflection. In this community of mutual care, we celebrate the great joys of life together, and we help share the burden of sorrows and grief. And so, as such, each week we share specific joys and sorrows from the lives of our members. Many of our members shared the joy last night of music, of comedy, and of camaraderie as we held our first ever Laugh-A-Lot Zoomathon right here in the Zoom room last night. We had a wonderful time raising our goal of $8,000 for next year's operating budget. And Maureen Bauman shares the following. Saturday, May 23rd was the anniversary of her spouse, death, Lisa Joseph Bach. Maureen is so grateful for all the SFUU community support that she has received during this last year. This community has held her when she needed them the most. Lisa's sudden death has taught Maureen that you can take nothing for granted. There is only change. She is learning to make peace and even to enjoy that reality. Holding these joys and sorrows and those shared in the chat and all of those left unsaid but still in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, I invite you now into a spirit of meditation, prayer, and reflection. Great mystery which grounds us and surrounds us all, divine presence known by many names and in many ways, we ask for blessings this morning. Blessings to comfort us in the midst of grief, whether that grief is old or new, sudden or gradual. The losses of our lives take their toll, and by leaning on one another, may we divide and diminish our tears. We grieve especially this weekend for the nearly 100,000 lives lost already to the COVID-19 virus. The loss is incredible, so large it is difficult to wrap one's brain around it. The pandemic has upturned everyone's lives in one way or another, and yet we resolve to do our part to reduce the spread, to keep everyone safe, to protect the lives of all those who still remain. Spirit of life and love, we also ask to see clearly the blessings abundant in our lives, blessings of community, mutual support, of successes, big or small, even the success of simply getting through another week, getting through another day. It is always enough to survive. And may we remember always, I am enough. I am a blessing. We ask, great mystery, to be the blessing, to bless others, to bless even our enemies, to bless those who may cause strife and suffering, invoking the name of liberty and freedom, yet forgetting the reason and responsibility which must always be full partners to freedom. May we cultivate compassion for everyone, no exceptions, and choose carefully only those words and actions which help protect us all, help to defend and heal the most vulnerable, help to soothe an aching world pushed to its fullest extent and leaning on whatever release valve it can. May we bless the whole world and all those in it. And if we can't quite bring ourselves to do that yet, may we bless our friends, our family, and our communities. And if we don't have the energy, the bandwidth, the resources to do that, may we bless ourselves, treating ourselves not as our self-critical mind may want to, but as our compassionate heart yearns to soothe and heal our weary souls. May each blessing begin within each of us and radiate out to the entire universe. And in this spirit, I invite you now to sing with hymn 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness. And as the music plays, to reflect upon a blessing that you can offer yourself or a loved one or for the world. Amen, and blessed be. Thank you, Patty. I now invite Kara to read our reading for this week.
Choose to Bless the World by Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker. Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, writing. Any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love. Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love. You must answer this question: what will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. There is an embrace of kindness that encompasses all life, even yours. And while there is injustice, anesthetization, or evil, there moves a holy disturbance, a benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting that which is sacred will not be defiled. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage. The choice to bless the world can take you into solitude to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, and liberation. More, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the importance of keeping faith, the life of ritual and praise, the comfort of human friendship, the company of earth, the chorus of life welcoming you. None of us alone can save the world. Together, there is a possibility, another possibility waiting. Generosity is a spiritual practice of this congregation. When we offer our time, our talents, and our treasure, we deepen our engagement and become part of building the beloved community together. As part of our ethic of generosity, we also split our collection plate with a local community organization aligned with our values. This month, the Share the Plate recipient is Save Auburn Ravine Salmon and Steelhead, SARCIS, a local nonprofit organization whose mission is to restore our streams and the American River in order that these fish may once more return upstream to their historical spawning grounds. To support SARCIS and SFUU today, you can follow the link in the chat or navigate to our website, mysfuu.org, and click Give to SFUU. Here you can donate to SFUU at any time for our Share the Plate recipient or directly to SFUU to pay your pledge. As always, you may mail donations or pledges directly to the church at our 190 Finley Street address. The offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Thank you, Patty. Counting your blessings. Being grateful for a blessing. Blessing the world. Blessing another person. A blessing in disguise. I give you my blessing. Bless you after a sneeze. Blessed be. And if you're from the South, well, bless your heart. You can see the word bless is quite versatile and shows up a number of places in our culture, both religious and secular. As Kara explored, your particular reaction to the word, or whether you use it or not, may depend heavily on your own theology and what you mean by blessing. However you may feel about the term, though, I encourage you to make sure that you have a broad understanding that humans have been blessed and have been blessing long before Christianity or any particular religion was around that may have informed your understanding of blessing as a child, perhaps. And the concept of blessing exists in many religions and traditions, and not all of them rely on, say, an active personal deity who does the action of blessing or comes down because a religious professional blessed you, and so now God will do X, Y, or Z. In my own personal theology, I do affirm a spiritual transcendent dimension of reality. So the word blessing works for me in that sense, as opposed to something more secular like lucky. But I don't think the blessings come to us humans from an outside deity. I believe that we are one with the whole universe in divine interdependence. And so whatever blessings or curses occur, they are manifested through and because of human action. Indeed, when I think of blessing, I'm actually much more likely to think of words spoken, like a benediction or the blessing of a newborn child, something along those lines, which may well be no more than the magic of language at work. But whether it is just language or something more going on, I do think it helps focus the attention and energy of both the blessed and the one doing the blessing. This is part of why I chose the Rebecca Parker reading for today, to choose to bless the world, because we truly do have the power to bless. In every moment, in every interaction is an opportunity to bless or to curse. And in the language of perhaps a humanist universalism, we will all go to heaven together or else hell together. And that is a heaven or hell made on earth, made by us. And so we choose to work to establish heaven on earth in what we do, in what we say to each other, in how we love and care for one another, for the most vulnerable. This is a core value of our faith. And this value was very present in my heart on Wednesday during our board meeting, as your board of trustees deliberated on Sierra Foothill UU's way forward for the next year, and what our overall plan would be for when we resume in-person worship and how. The decision was difficult, in that choosing to plan for a whole church year of virtual operations is not anyone's top choice for how to do church. But in other ways, it was very easy. The science is clear, as are our religious values. Affirming the inherent worth and dignity of every person means that we must safeguard each precious life as much as we can, so that when we do finally and joyfully gather in person as a religious community, we are able to do so with everyone there. And it's not just for our own community members. The virus spreads throughout communities and between communities, and so every opportunity it has to transmit between people increases the chances that the overall death toll will rise. So we are choosing to do our part to bless, to heal the world by doing everything we can to minimize the spread of the disease. Religious gatherings, as you might guess, are hotbeds for viral transfer, multi-generational communities with folks from various different schools, workplaces, social groups coming together to sing, hug, hold hands, break bread. There are a number of reasons, grounded in science, why we should want religious gatherings of all denominations and traditions to be one of the last sectors of public life to resume in-person gatherings. Now, this may lead you to the question, what about small group gatherings with precautions that we might be able to take? There is a wide spectrum of options between church exactly as we did it before, which is certainly not safe, and having everything happen on Zoom or otherwise online, which is where we are at this moment. Which is why your Board of Trustees is also convening a task force to look at all of these options, to weigh the pros and cons, and to make recommendations about how we should be operating in this next church year while mostly virtual, and to make plans for the eventual in-person opening, which may not happen until there's a vaccine distributed, and which will still almost certainly require some manner of adaptation or adjustment that we are used to. And that task force will also look at what might be safe and possible in terms of smaller gatherings. And I bring this all up not just to inform you and to let you absorb the information, but because it is an excellent example of how choosing to be a blessing or choosing to bless is not necessarily a rose-colored, feel-good experience, as it may first sound. Just because we may choose to bless the world doesn't mean that it makes it any easier to know what to do. Good intentions alone can't save us from sometimes accidentally hurting others. Choosing to bless is an important first step, but I think it's important to realize doing the right thing may mean making a choice that is uncomfortable for us, or maybe a reality we don't like facing. It can be as simple as recognizing and admitting that you were wrong in a fight with your significant other or with a friend. Everyone does it. No one is perfect. And even when we realize how wrong we were, it's not a fun or a great feeling to fess up and to face our shortcomings, although there may be some freedom and liberation in it. And yet, it is the right thing to do. It is the compassionate thing to do. It is how we can be a blessing. This world right now is hurting. Like many of you, I don't have a theology of a sinful, fallen world, but I do feel comfortable saying that we live in a broken world, and the cracks are ever more apparent given the impact of a pandemic. This world needs healing, needs blessing desperately. May each and every one of you realize that you have the power to bless the world, and may you go forth to do so. Not just to do good works, but to be a blessing, to embody the gift of love that each one of you truly is. You are a gift. You are a blessing. Now go and bless the world. And in that spirit of blessing and in gratitude for all the blessings of our life, I invite you now to sing hymn 128, For All That Is Our Life.
Make our home to build the common good.
May we count our blessings each and every day and transform our gratitude into fuel to go forth and bless the world. Please now get your home chalices if you have them, or raise your hands up as we share our words to extinguish the chalice. As we go forth, may we carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Blessed be.